Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Droppin Knowledge with Noah. I know it's been a little while since I've dropped my last episode, but I wanted to get into 2025 kind of talking about, that holistic dealership solution when it comes to software, right? And this is going to be kind of a shameless plug. Cox Automotive is all about that holistic dealership solution. And I brought my good friend and counterpart, Siamack Zahabi, onto the podcast today. Just kind of talk about multi-solution sales with Cox Automotive. What kind of advantages that connected solution really brings to dealerships, and really, the results that we've been seeing from those dealerships that have kind of gone in with Cox Automotive as a whole. So, welcome to the show. Siamack, I really appreciate you jumping on. Do you want to just give a quick intro to who you are, what you do, and,
Yeah,
and we'll get into there.
definitely. Thanks, Noah, for having me on the show again. As Noah said, my name is Siamack Zahabi. I'm the director of multi-solution sales within Cox Automotive. I also direct the change in ownership team here as well, with the sole purpose of trying to help our clients simplify the process as we go through, looking at multiple products across Cox Automotive. We put this together, as you know, Noah, to try and help the dealers versus having to go and talk to a person for Vauto, a person for Vinsolutions, a person for DMS, et cetera. We have the ability to have one single conversation across all of those products and really try to save the dealer some time, some effort, some headaches, and really make it a little bit easier for them. And obviously, with the use of your team, helping out with the presentations and really making sure it's a nice, easy process for the dealer, we've been able to see a lot of success with that.
Love it. So one thing that you folks out there might have been seeing is, this idea of retail 360, right? So that's been kind of the new marketing campaign from Cox Automotive. So
Right.
CMAC, in your world, what does, Cox Automotive really mean by retail 360, and why is that important in today's market? What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question, man. Retail 360 to me is Cox Automotive's approach to promoting the fact that there are only one company out in the market right now in automotive that has the ability to touch every step throughout the car buying process. And again, shamelessly, that's going to be Cox Automotive. It really gives us the ability to simplify a lot of the things for the dealer, right? When the dealer is looking at how do I go from online to in-store? How do I simplify the process for dealers when they're looking at, doing the digital retailing process, or if they're trying to, even get into scheduling service, right? We've been able to
Yep.
use AI-driven, powered information to really predict what customers are doing when they're coming in, what they're looking at. And like I said, the real purpose of it is to try and simplify the process for the dealership to understand a little bit more about who their customer is and how they work, right? So again,
Yeah.
just think about from dealer.com to Vinsolutions to Xtime to DMS to KBB ICO to Auto Trader to all of it, right? It all has the ability to connect and seamlessly integrate across the process for us.
100%. I mean, it's just kind of a full circle solution, right? From sales
Right.
to service to trade-ins, all of that stuff. It's really that interconnected solution. So, the way that I like to kind of think about it is cradle to cradle retailing. So you
Right.
get them
Yeah.
from one life cycle into the next, and then when that life cycle ends, you get them into the one after that.
Right.
So,
Right.
and when we're talking about the different solutions, we got Dealertrack, Dealer.com, Vinsolutions. How are those, solutions kind of integrating to create that seamless experience for car dealerships? What are you seeing out there?
Yeah, no, again, I kind of alluded to this just a minute ago with the other answer, but Dealertrack, Dealer.com, Vinsolutions, Xtime, KBB ICO, Auto Trader, all of those things, they just when you have the ability to seamlessly push the data from one tool to the next, especially when you're looking at going from, if you look at Dealer.com and then you go into your CRM and you have the ability to see where the customer's been, what they're looking at, what they're kind of thinking, it just gives a distinct advantage to the dealers that are using
Yeah.
that, because we really need to understand what the customers are doing and what they're thinking. And I always like to kind of go back to if you go on Amazon and you look at something, you're looking at that stuff on Amazon. Once you move over to the next page, it's kind of saying, hey, you should look at this part.
Yep.
Those are things that really help when you know a little bit more about who your customer is and what they're doing. It makes it a lot easier for you to predict what you need to do next.
I love it. And, you've seen it kind of happen in real life, right? We've
Yeah,
worked with a
yeah.
lot of different dealer groups. Like what kind of, results have these integrated solutions, created for the dealerships that we've been working with? How have they improved business outcomes for these dealerships? What have you seen
Yeah.
out there?
Yeah, we've seen quite a bit. I mean, I can give you a couple of different examples. I've been around for a little while and done this. We have one of my friends in Barnes Crossing, dealership is when we put it all together for them, when we set it up and added AMP into the picture, right? So again, for those that don't know, AMP is our automated marketing platform that allows us to go out and kind of find what the customers are doing online and then create campaigns around that. After we signed them up on that and put it all together, he called me a couple of months later and said, "This is ridiculous, right? I mean, we did
That's awesome.
one campaign for for the Hyundai dealership, service never sold, and created a campaign that brought in $150,000 worth of revenue off of one campaign for them. Now, again, I'm not
That's
saying that you
insane.
do this and that's going to happen for everybody, but they were able to use the data properly, follow the data properly, and then
Yeah.
continue down the path with AMP to do that. But they found some great success there. Another one is a little bit newer, so we haven't been able to find all of the successes yet. But when you look at Carlock Automotive Group, 20-something store group in Tennessee, they came to us and asked us to help them solve a problem where they had, several different third-party tools across their stores that didn't communicate very well, right? And when you're looking at those tools that don't communicate very well, how do we simplify processes to make it a little bit less expensive for them to do business, but also find more clients and information? Well, what
Yep.
that's done is, we went through the whole deal, looked at their stores and all of the process for what they had as Cox Automotive, and really looked at how we can fill in the gaps and move products from a different third party spend over to Cox Automotive. And, we were able to solve that across the board. They're fully Cox on all of their stores. And the measure of success for me is the fact that they continue to come back to us and ask us to add it for the new stores that they're buying, right? Let's put it in the
Yep.
new store and make sure that everything's moving forward.
And I would think, in today's kind of interconnected ecosystem that we're dealing with, it makes more sense because now you've on the support side of things, right? So instead of calling five different companies with five different people who probably aren't talking to each other,
Right.
now you've got the solution with, yeah, you've got different reps for different solutions, but they all know each other. They know your
Yeah.
business, and they can work together to find efficiencies and improvements to help you really maximize the results there.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a big undertaking. All of a sudden going all in with a vendor. What are some of the challenges that dealerships kind of face, taking that step, and what are some of the things that Cox Automotive does to support those
Yeah.
dealer groups, those dealerships through that process? What do you see out there?
Well, yeah, first of all, that's another great point. I mean, I think that when you're trying to really change the philosophy and the way that you're doing things in a dealership and move to one consolidated tool that has the ability to communicate across all the things, there's going to be pushback. I mean, we're all in the automotive industry. We know there's going to be people that just don't want to accept the fact that this is a change I have to go to. So, we know that happens. There are some, areas where you might see difficulties in understanding what some of these tools, when they combine, can bring to the table and how we can use it. Cox Automotive's done a fantastic job, in my opinion, of creating the performance management model, right?
Yep.
And moving that across every one of our businesses. Over the last year, we've done a really good job of consolidating that. Again, when you look at the operations performance manager, instead of having performance manager for DMS and one for Xtime and one for F&I, we've been able to kind of consolidate that and simplify the process
Yeah.
of who's going to be communicating and eliminating additional pieces and additional steps or communication areas, so that we have the ability to help them out with that. I also love the fact that when you look at Vauto and Vin and DDC and all of those, when you look at the performance managers, my opinion and what I've seen and heard from clients is they're really coming in and looking at the solutions and saying, we're doing really, really well here. We need to work on this piece. And how can we
Yep.
get your team to start working on this piece to get the most out of what the tool is? Because, again, software is software. People are people. We need to make sure that the people are using the software properly and diving into it to get the most out of it. And I think that we've got really good teams that help out with that a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I think the way that we're approaching it is we're approaching your business like a whole business. It's not
Yeah.
like you're at your dealership and you just focus on just marketing, right?
Yeah.
And that's it. you're looking at marketing, service, fixed ops, sales, all of that stuff. And they all
Yep.
have to work together for you to be able to execute and do well, because if you just put all your attention into one bucket, well,
Yeah.
it's not really
Very
going
true.
to work out very well.
Yeah.
So, all right, seeing all sorts of cool stuff happening, looking ahead, what, innovations or trends do you see shaping that future of the holistic solution for car dealerships? What are you seeing out there?
Well, I mean, I think AI is the buzzword, right? I mean,
Yeah.
more and more AI is being used to drive how, things are happening within technology. And I think that, Cox Automotive is really focusing on how can we use that to help our clients find the best way to use the tools.
Yeah.
How can we enhance the system by using some AI to take heavy lifting away from some of the people? I think if you really pay attention to what's going on, that's where a lot of the focus is going. And
Yeah.
Cox is doing, in my opinion, we're doing a lot of really good things to do that. One of the things I always say when I talk to clients is, there isn't a company out there in automotive that has as much data as we have. And,
Yeah.
people talk about data driven, areas of the business and how we use the data to drive it. But I think you need to use the informed data, right? Use the data to inform your team and how we're going to use that, and how we're going to be able to move forward with it. So, again, use the data, let AI kind of help drive some of that data to make things easier for you. And again, I'm really excited to see what's going to happen in the next couple of years.
Yeah. I mean, AI is just what we've seen in the last 2 years
Yeah.
is absolutely mind
It's
blowing.
crazy.
So
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, again, you think of just going back to how you as a consumer, how I as a consumer go online and look for things, and
yeah.
how it reads what we're doing and just kind of predicts or presents the next thing of what we want to try and do. Obviously you've had Mo on the podcast before, I'm sure, right? And if you ask him if you want to go look for something to buy, you'll go in there and look at the website, come off the website, and 2 minutes later it's going to be an ad on your
Yeah.
next page. That's how it works. It's just looking to see what the best scenario for you is, and how do I make your experience better by using this information. And again, it's a little scary, but it's also pretty cool at the same time.
Yeah. I think the best way to think about it, and I think Microsoft did such a killer job of naming their product, but Copilot.
Yeah.
It's your awesome little assistant that's there to help you out in whatever you're doing. Like it's like
Right.
your own little R2D2 who's just going to do everything that kind of
Good way to put
sucks
it.
to
Yeah.
do, and makes it so you can focus on what you do really well.
Yep.
That's awesome. So thank you so much, Siamack. I really appreciate you hopping on and giving us your insights. And if you do have questions about multi-solutions for your dealership, don't hesitate to reach out to Siamack. He's out there. He's got a whole squad of people who can
Yep.
kind of dive deep into what you're doing and provide a great solution suite for you to really kind of take your dealership to that next level. So thanks again, Siamack. I
Absolutely.
really appreciate you, man.
Yeah,
And
no, man.
stay
Thanks,
tuned for
thanks,
more Dropping
thanks for having
Knowledge.
me on, man. I really appreciate it.
You got it.
100%.
All right,
All right.
man.
Thanks.